Good afternoon from Delaware. This is Lucy Mwangi, USA. Today is Thursday, January 8th, 2026. How are you guys? Welcome in. Thank you for joining this live stream. As you come in, make sure you share the live. So today we are covering three major developments affecting immigrants and U.S. communities. The first topic that we're going to talk about is immigrants are suing the federal government over a pause in processing green cards and citizenship cases. The second update is USCIS has updated how good moral character is evaluated for citizenship applicants. And the third topic of conversation today is breaking news: a woman shot by ICE agent in Minneapolis, an active investigation with dueling accounts, and major community response. So we'll talk about what the government is saying about the good moral character, about the updated U.S. citizenship guidelines towards U.S. citizenship, especially for green card holders. And we'll talk about the recently placed lawsuit against the U.S. government. So let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you can hear me. Tap the screen. Everybody on YouTube, thank you for joining in. Drop your location. Let me know where you're watching from. Thank you guys for watching. I hope your year is going on well. Happy 2026. For those of you who are just joining for the first time this year. Welcome to new subscribers and new followers on TikTok. My name is Lucy. On this channel, we talk about legal pathways of coming to the United States. We give you immigration updates, and we talk extensively about the diversity visa program, which is still not open for 2027. And we talk about life in the US as an immigrant. I appreciate you being here. Thank you guys for being here. So let's quickly talk about what's going on. So the first topic, there's a lawsuit that has been filed against the US government. Immigrants have filed lawsuits alleging the federal government paused processing of green cards, citizenship, and asylum cases, leaving applicants in limbo. Lawyers and advocates argue that this may violate immigration laws and hurt families waiting for decisions. Government response has been limited, increasingly uncertain, and people now are not sure. Things are pending. Their green cards are pending. U.S. citizenship oath ceremonies have been canceled. People waiting for job authorizations. So this is affecting a lot of people. So we are quickly going to talk about that. I did a video. I think I posted it today. If you want to get more details about that, you can watch that video. It gives you lots of information about it. But essentially, federal agencies paused processing applications for green cards, citizenship, and asylum for certain people. Many people were close to becoming citizens, and they had their oath ceremonies canceled or applications frozen. Asylum seekers, green card holders pending citizenship, people who are on work visas waiting for extensions or waiting for authorization, and stuff like that. So lawyers and immigrant advocates say this pause violates immigration law and leaves people in legal limbo. So who is suing? It's immigrants, including doctors, engineers, and asylum seekers. Nearly 200 plaintiffs in some filings are using, in the same filings, they are suing the federal government, claiming harm from the pause. So once again, make sure you watch that video that I posted today. And so what's the government response? Official statements from USCIS and DHS, which is the Department of Homeland Security, have been limited. And as of now, the agencies have not provided detailed public explanations for how long the pause will last or how many cases are affected, which is part of why the lawsuit was filed. So what does this mean? Delays can seriously affect people's ability to work, to travel, to protect families legally, and to reach their citizenship goals. Some legal groups have filed requests and lawsuits to force transparencies. So let me know in the comment section, has your green card, citizenship, or asylum application been delayed? Drop a yes in the chat and let us know if you're stuck or which country you're from and what is your immigration process. At what point are you in? What step are you in your immigration process? The second information that I wanted to this is not brand new, but I haven't really talked about it. It came out in August, and during that time, I think I was on vacation. I heard something about it. I read it quickly, but I haven't put a video together. I will put a video together specifically for this part of the live. And this is concerning the new USCIS good moral character rules. So if you're planning to do your citizenship, despite the pause, if you're planning to move from green card to citizenship, you'll be required to go through a new guideline on good moral character. So you'll see a lot of abbreviated GMC in regard to that, and that will mean good moral character. So when I say GMC, just know that I'm referring to that phrase, good moral character. So what is it? What is good moral character? Good moral character is a legal requirement for anyone seeking U.S. citizenship. It means USCIS must find you behaved well. They have to find out that you behaved well and contributed positively to your community. So what has changed from before? Because we went through the green card to citizenship process and it wasn't that serious at that time. We were just required to show that you've been following the green card requirements, and it wasn't as serious as it is now. So now it feels like they are working towards denying you citizenship more than trying to approve your citizenship. You know what I mean? It's like you have to prove now that you are worthy of citizenship as opposed to just, being that you have qualified for citizenship. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that. So what has changed? USCIS updated its policy, and that was on August 15th, 2025, requiring officers to take a holistic, comprehensive view of applicants, not just look for the absence of crimes or violations, but also at positive traits, contributions, community involvement, family responsibility, and overall good character. This expanded evaluation goes beyond the old standards and includes factors like tax compliance, volunteering, employment history, and even certain behaviors that might not be criminal but are judged socially. So the burden of proof lays now on the applicant to prove to the immigration officer, USCIS officer, during the interview process or during the evaluation, whether or not you have good moral character compared to the average American. So it doesn't matter now, and it matters, but it doesn't. So it depends on the officer's judgment. So that places the applicant at a very difficult position because they have to prove to that particular officer that they are of good moral character. So the things that you can do, and I'll share the memorandum with you in a minute, but how does this affect or how does it impact the applicants? Some applicants with otherwise clean records now need to prove positive contributions. So it doesn't matter if your criminal record is clean anymore. It does, but that's not the only thing that qualifies you for citizenship anymore. So the absence of crime or criminal record does not automatically guarantee that you'll get a citizenship qualification. I hope you understand what that means. So USCIS officers now have more discretion in interpreting good character, which can sometimes feel very subjective. So you don't know what kind of officer you're going to meet at the at the citizenship interview. You don't know what kind of mood or bias they have towards you or your country or your religion or your sex, female, male, LGBTQ, you don't know. So, and that whole responsibility has been put on that particular USCIS officer to judge you within that time of the application or of the interview to decide whether you are a good person or you have good moral character to be a US citizen, and are you able to assimilate properly into the American system? So that's the new thing, because I remember when I was going through my US citizenship interview, yes, it took a long time, but it was just like a checkoff system. I remember he had like a paper that he was just going through, and he had like a standard template of the questions here, the USCIS citizenship questions. Those ones he asked me, whatever number, I got them all right. And then we had the English test. I had to read some things in English. And then he asked me some things. Obviously, we were already speaking in English, so he already made the determination that I can speak and explain myself in English. And then he didn't ask me anything else. I didn't have to explain anything. He went through my N400, which is the application for citizenship. He did that. He went through how I got my green card. He went through my file. I had a big file. So he went through my file and my previous, it was years after I had gotten my green card. But he was just trying to find out whether the story matches. So that's essentially what it was. It was just, did I stay in the US for the whole period of time that I was a green card winner? And was my story matching from the green card application? And that was really it. But now you have to prove yourself, and I'll show you ways that you can do that. So what's the government position? USCIS says this approach strengthens the integrity of the naturalization process, aiming to ensure that new citizens reflect American values. And so let me know in the comment section, are you planning to apply for US citizenship soon? Do these new GMC rules make you nervous, hopeful, or confused? Let me know in the comment section. I know there's a lot of people, especially on TikTok. Thank you guys on TikTok. Tap the live, tap the screen, double tap the screen, and share the live. I know there are a lot of TikTokers and TikTok followers who are going through their immigration process right now. So either DV winners who came in and they are been here for 3 years, 5 years, and now they're planning to do their, adjustment of status from green card to citizenship. So let me know if this pause, number one, if the pause is affecting you, and what do you think about these guidelines for the good moral conduct? So remember that this is not legal advice. I always say this. So if you have a specific case, consult an immigration lawyer. All right. So let me share with you that policy that came out on August 15th, 2025. So this is from on TikTok. I'm sharing the August 15, 2025 USCIS policy memorandum, and it's titled Restoring a Rigorous, Holistic, and Comprehensive Good Moral Character Evaluation Standard for Aliens Applying for Naturalization. So the purpose of the memorandum: evaluating aliens seeking to become naturalized is the most sacred and profound responsibility that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, is charged with performing. Becoming a naturalized U.S. citizen means being an active and responsible member of society instead of just having a right to live and work in the United States. Among other eligibility factors, aliens applying for naturalization must demonstrate that he or she has been and continues to be an individual of good moral character. Evaluating GMC involves more than cursory mechanical review focused on absence of wrongdoing. It entails a holistic assessment of an alien's behavior, adherence to societal norms, and positive contributions that affirmatively demonstrate good moral character. So I'm reading straight from the memorandum from USCIS. So let me show you ways that they're saying, and we've already talked about what changed from before. So let me show you what they're saying about the things that you can do, positive contributions and negative contributions. So there's greater emphasis on positive attributes or contributions. USCIS will place greater emphasis on an alien's positive attributes and contributions in good moral character determinations. These positive factors include, but are not limited to, so listen, this is what they're saying that you should do. If you want to see it on TikTok, you can jump over to YouTube, but this is what I'm reading from the USCIS page. So the first thing that they're listing that you can do that is a plus for you guys who are filing for US citizenship is sustained community involvement and contribution in the United States. This was not a thing before. So before, we didn't have to prove that we are, we have community service hours, or we are participating in church activities, or we are members of the school, whatever, groups and stuff, community groups and stuff like that. We didn't have to prove that. But now, the more involved you're in the community, the more points, sort of like points, you get towards your citizenship. The second thing is family caregiving responsibility and ties in the United States. So if you have family here, you're taking care of maybe your parents, or you have like some kind of family responsibility, you have kids, you have a husband, stuff like that, a wife, then that goes towards your positive contributions. The other thing is education attainment. So going to school, advancing your career, having, degrees, and not just degrees, but, just advancing yourself education-wise, learning new skills and getting certifications for that. So make sure you can prove that. And then stable and lawful employment history and achievements. So you gotta stay employed. If there's a gap that you have not had a job, then you have to be willing to and ready to explain that. So the recommendation and the advice is, make sure if you're planning to apply for citizenship, start now having a folder or a file that you can put all your documents there: employment records, birth certificate of kids, wife, husband, stuff like that, any ties to the United States. And then tax returns, W-2s, and stuff like that. Any work achievements, any certifications you got, any kind of recognition that you got, make sure you put all that stuff in that folder so that you don't have to be scrambling towards the, when the interview date approaches. And then the length of lawful residence in the United States. How long have you been a green card holder in the United States? And then compliance with tax obligations and financial responsibility in the US. That's a big one. Make sure you're filing your taxes. Do not skip this part, because that can mess you up. So make sure you are filing your taxes. All right, filing your taxes. And if you owe something, make sure you're paying that money before you go for the interview. So there's greater scrutiny of disqualifying behavior and action. So USCIS will focus greater attention on whether an alien has engaged in any behavior or act that disqualifies the alien from being found to be a person of good moral character. So disqualifying behavior or actions include, so if you have any of these, you are disqualified from applying for US citizenship. If you are convicted of murder, aggravated felony, crimes of violence, persecution, genocide, torture, or severe violations of religious freedoms, then you are automatically disqualified from applying. So make sure that you are following that, and you can read the memorandum right here on USCIS website. And there are things that they are saying that you can show for rehabilitation and reformation. The other thing I forgot to mention is that if you have like convicted or recurring multiple DUIs, then that can count against you when you're trying to apply for citizenship. USCIS will also focus greater attention on ensuring that aliens who have engaged in wrongdoing are properly rehabilitated and reformed, consistent with the totality of circumstances approach. Evidence of genuine rehabilitation may support a finding of GMC. This includes, but is not limited to, rectifying overdue child support payment or other family obligations. So that's another red flag. So if you have overdue child support, if you're not paying your family responsibility obligations, you're not supporting your family as required, then that can be a red flag for you. And you do need, if you have that on your record, you do need to show that you are reforming and you're rectifying those situations. Compliance with probation or other conditions imposed by a court, community testimony from credible sources attesting to aliens' ongoing good moral conduct, reformation or mentoring those with similar past, full repayment of overpayment of benefits such as Social Security insurance, and full payment of overdue taxes. So they just want you to be a good American, a good citizen, in comparison to like the average American. So this approach will empower USCIS officers to review the complete history of aliens seeking naturalization, where no regulatory or statutory bars exist, and require such aliens to present their full story, demonstrating how their life aligns with a pattern of behavior that is consistent with the current ethical standards and expectations of the community in which they reside. So that's that. I'll do a video about it, and it will just be specific for that particular topic. So that's what's going on about the good moral conduct. But what can you do? What can you do? Legal context and what you can do. Once again, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a professional legal immigration attorney, but this is what you can do to strengthen your application. Keep your documentation of volunteer work. If you volunteer at your kids' school, at your church, or in your community, the Red Cross, Salvation Army, things like those. Keep records of that. Show evidence of steady employment and tax compliance. Letters from community leaders or clergy. Your pastor can write you a letter. Community church members can write you a letter showing that you are a good person. Clear explanations of past issues with proof of rehabilitation. All right. So let me know what you think about that. How long have you been waiting for your case or citizenship interview if you are in the audience, or if you're going to watch this video on the replay? Has USCIS contacted you for more documentation under these new rules? And what support would you like to see on Lucy Mwangi USA? So let me know what's going on with your case. Let me know how things are going with these uncertain times with the immigration processes here in the US. A lot of people are stuck. A lot of people's cases are just hanging up out in the balance, not knowing what to do. But whatever your situation, don't lose hope. Immigration law is complicated, but there's resources, there are attorneys, community groups, and channels like this to help you stay informed and prepared. All right. So that's the second topic. We talked about the lawsuit that has been filed by immigrants suing the United States government for pausing immigration process for a lot of people who were actually, some of them were actually had been approved for citizenship. and they were just waiting for the oath ceremony. They were just waiting for the final interview or for the final oath ceremony, and that was canceled. And now they don't know what is going on. They're just hanging out, just worried, nervous, not knowing what to do. And so they decided to sue the government. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep an eye on that story and see what else is going to come up. What do you think about that lawsuit, guys? Do you think it's going to go through? Do you think it will force the government to lift the pause on immigration processing? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the chat on TikTok. Thank you, TikTok, for sharing the live and liking the live. I appreciate you. We'll go over the questions in a little bit, but let's talk about the last topic of conversation today. So yesterday, a 37-year-old woman was fatally shot by a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agent during a federal immigration enforcement operation in Minneapolis. Investigations are ongoing. Federal officials said the agent fired because the woman allegedly threatened officers with her vehicle, while local officials and eyewitnesses say the video and accounts contradict that claim. The FBI now leads the investigation, and authorities have emphasized not making assumptions as the case develops. The community has responded with vigils and protests, and local leaders have strongly criticized the federal narrative. The woman was reported as a mother and resident of Minneapolis, a U.S. citizen, and city officials dispute claims that she posed a threat. So, like I said, this is an ongoing investigation. It just happened yesterday. We do not want to preempt the investigation, but that's part of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement crackdown on illegal immigrants in Minneapolis. So we'll keep an eye on this story and see what the outcome is going to be. So as we continue with our live session, I just wanted to mention, I know people on TikTok are already asking whether the DV Lottery 2027 is open, but it's not open yet. So 2026 DV Lottery winners interviews are still going on despite everything, but visas are not being issued. So let me know where you're watching from. I'm done with the presentation, so you guys can participate in the questions and answers. So let me know, let me see who's here. What is the lawsuit for immigration? Somebody's asking. Chris, I just posted a video today on YouTube. You can read, you can go over, it's a very short video, it's like 7 minutes. So you can read about it. But essentially, immigrants who are waiting for the processes to be approved by the USCIS and who have actually paid their fees, they've completed their applications, they've did everything that they're supposed to do. Some of them were waiting to be, sweared in with the oath of ceremony, the oath ceremony for the citizenship. But all that was canceled because the government put a pause on all immigration processes, especially for the travel ban countries. So at that time, I think it was the 19 countries, but now it's 39 countries. So those people are in limbo. They're wondering what to do because, can you imagine? I remember going through my immigration process, and at that time, I don't remember if I had a USCIS account. Maybe my lawyer did, but I never accessed my USCIS account. I was only waiting for the physical letters. I had to wait for the physical letters from USCIS to come to my house where I was living at that time. So the waiting is just nerve-wracking. You wait for months without hearing anything. You wait and wait and wait. And sometimes you forgot that you're even in the process of immigration. You know what I mean? But I can only imagine, like, after waiting that long, after making the payments, and these immigration processes are not cheap. The forms are not cheap to complete, to process. And once you make all that payment and you've met the requirements, the expectation is that you will be called in for an interview, and then you will go for the oath ceremony. Myself, I did it the same day. You do your citizenship test and citizenship interview together. And then after that, after like, I don't remember how long it was, but it was the same day. We all went for the oath ceremony, which didn't take so long. So I can imagine the people who are just waiting and they don't know what to do. So I think they're fed up and they decided to sue the government to see whether they're going to force the US government to lift the pause and continue processing their visas and their green card, not their green cards, whatever it is that they are filing, asylum. There are people who are filing for work authorizations. There are people who are filing for citizenship. So it's a combination of different immigration processes. So that's what's going on. Royal Clerks is asking, are they still issuing 2NLs? I believe they are. They are still doing their interviews, but they're not issuing visas. All right, let me see who's here on YouTube. Thank you guys for being here. I hope your year has started well. I appreciate you being here. All right, on TikTok, Prince. Hi, ma'am. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. Hi, Haile. Thank you for watching. Lillian, thanks for the great job you're doing. Keep us in touch all the time. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for joining in and participating. I miss watching your video. Which one? I posted one today. You can watch that, and you can always go back and watch this replay later. Thank you for the updates, Lucy. Sambu, thank you. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you. I'm from Ethiopia. I'm a DV 2026, and I'm current and waiting for a 2NL. All right. So the biggest thing for us right now, because with this government, we don't know what to expect, is to stay updated. Just keep your ear on the ground. Anything can change anytime. Don't lose hope, okay? Don't lose hope. Keep hope alive. Don't despair. So if you're going through an immigration process, just don't despair. Keep yourself updated. Know what's going on with your case. If you need a lawyer up so that you can get this done. John Kamau, hello, Lucy. Thanks for helping us watching from Roiro. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Daniel Muli, how are you? Happy New Year. Sio Kimau Mlolongo. Thank you for watching. ICE agents was judge, jury on executioner. She got a death sentence. Yeah, so that's an ongoing, it's an ongoing investigation. It's very volatile right now. Things are, I was watching the live today on different media outlets, especially from Minneapolis, and it's very, very, it's a volatile situation. It's active. It's an active investigation. So we'll wait and see what becomes of it, and then I'll do a proper video then. I don't like to talk too much about an active investigation, especially when it's something that just happened yesterday. The only reason I'm mentioning it is because it involves ICE, and this is an immigration update channel, and ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So, and I know there are some immigrants in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, who may or may not be affected by this whole charade going on in Minneapolis. So I'll wait and see what happens, and I'll do a proper video about everything and the outcome. So thank you guys for watching. Brian, Lucy, unatembelea Kenya lini? Maybe this year. Maybe I'll come in this year. Maybe I will come to Kenya this year. I was there in 2024. What is new for DV 2026? Yeah, guys, what is new? Comment with your country. Have you received a second notification letter? Have you gone for the interview over the past week? I think I haven't been on live for like 8 days. So what's going on in between? Has anybody gone for an interview? I know somebody went for interview. I got TikTok messages, I think 3. Some people saying they got the green slip, but they did not. But then they got another email saying refused. And they were freaking out because they thought that that's the end of that. But that is not the end of that. Because of the DV lottery program pause, no visas are being issued at this time. So don't panic when you get to the interview, you pass the interview, the officer says you've been approved, but then they end up giving you, sending you an email saying your visa has been refused. Most people are leaving their passports behind and waiting for when the pause is lifted so that they can get their visa stamped. So I encourage you not to panic. Is there any reason for asylum denial if good proofs? So depending on your case, and I really don't talk about asylum cases because of the sensitivity of the cases, and I'm not a legal representative, but going by what the memorandum is saying, you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you're a person of good moral character. And that involves a lot of things which you've talked about in the video. So if you can compile a comprehensive review of yourself overall for the last, let's say, for example, you applied for the adjustment of status. Let's say, for example, you have a green card, right? And it was through marriage or through DV lottery or through whatever process. So let's say you have to wait 3 years, okay? So from the day that you got your green card to the day you're going to go for the interview for the citizenship, make sure you're keeping documented evidence of good moral character. In essence, that's what they're saying. They want to see evidence of good moral character. And that will include all the things that we've talked about in the video. So if you haven't seen that list, make sure you replay the video in the on YouTube when this is uploaded. Okay. Applied for asylum before visa expiration, but now visa expired. Do you think I'm at risk of getting arrested? I don't know, but with the pause, all asylum immigration processes are paused. USCIS is pausing all immigration processes, and that's why and hence the lawsuit. So for case specific, I would consult a legal professional for your specific case. Okay. I wish you all the best in your pursuit for citizenship. All right. On TikTok, how are you guys? How is it going? Happy New Year. All right. Let me see what questions you have on TikTok. On YouTube, by the way, Abdul Rahman is saying my interview is January 15th. Can I attend it or leave it? Which country? Which country are you from? Are you from a travel ban country? But what the advice and the instruction from the Department of State is that if you have a scheduled interview, you should attend the interview. I said this on the last live. If you have a scheduled interview, they don't want you to cancel that interview. They want you to go for the interview, regardless of whether or not you're going to be given the visa on that day. So make sure that you do that. You go for your interview. So you're saying you're from Ethiopia. So go for the interviews, guys. Don't cancel your interviews and then complain that you can't get another appointment because you've already been told by the Department of State to honor your interview. Honor your interview unless you've been told to not to go for some reason. So everybody who's been scheduled for an interview, please go for your DV lottery interview. Okay. I hope we are together on that. Somebody's saying no DV 2027 this year. It's starting to feel that way, but they're very, very late. Kajimu Moses, hello, Madam Lucy. You have just joined. Thank you for joining on TikTok. Let me go all the way up on TikTok and see what kind of questions you have. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Simple Boy, Lucia, everybody on TikTok, Tatu. Thank you guys for joining. Green card imefika wapi Aki? Yeah, people are frustrated. Imagine the interviews are still going on for green card winners, and no visas are being issued because of the pause. So I'm crossing my fingers for you guys who are going through the process. I'm hoping that this immigration pause, the DV lottery pause, the whole immigration pause, and I know the government is saying that they're trying to do a comprehensive review of a comprehensive review of how they are vetting and how they are letting people come into the country, and it's a matter of national security, and I get that. But there are so many people who are hurt, who are affected by this pause, whose life is in limbo. They don't know whether to move forward or drop it. I mean, it's anxiety every day for a lot of people. So I get it from both sides, or from both ends, from the government and also from the people who are going through these immigration processes. Guliad, how are you? Watching from Uganda, somebody watching from New Jersey. Which number did 2NL reach in Kenya, guys? Guys, have you received, has anybody on this live received a 2NL recently over the last few weeks after the visa bulletin that was released in December? Has anybody received their 2NL? You have to understand that I'm also relying on your feedback because I don't know everything that is going on in every embassy for all 6 regions that are covered by the DV lottery. So I appreciate all the feedback that you're giving me. A lot of people are saying Liberia, nothing's going on. Ghana, nothing's going on. Cameroon, nothing is going on. No 2NLs have been issued. Please confirm it if you are here on this live, or if you're going to watch the video replay. Can you please confirm whether your country is still, or your embassy is still giving 2NLs? Because people are really impatient and they're really frustrated. Haile, how are you? Ellie, how are you? Greetings, greetings, greetings. From Kenya, any updates about visa issuance in the US Embassy in Kenya? I don't have any current information, but I think people said it's up to 10K 2NLs, at least up to 10K in Kenya, they've received their 2NLs. And according to the latest visa bulletin that I shared with you last time, and I can see if I can share with you again, the current number for Africa is anything below 45,000. So if your case number is below 45,000, you're technically current. It's just that with this pause for the DV lottery and with this USCIS pausing, it's just a mess. It's a total mess. 2025 was a total mess, and I hope 2026 will be a little bit better. Please, do we still have hopes on the lottery processing 2026 interviews? I believe we still have hopes. I have evidence from people who have gone for interviews, but they have not received their visas because of the pause. But the fact that everybody is being told to go for their interview is proof that DV 2026 processing is still going on. So let's hang tight. Let's keep hope alive. For those of you who still have the goal and the dream of coming to the United States, despite everything that is going on, I still feel like the US is a good place to develop yourself. If you have dreams, if you have ambition, a lot of opportunities are here in the US, despite everything, despite what's going on in the news about immigration. I believe that the US American dream is what you make it. So get yourself here. Go to whatever state that you go, choose your state wisely, and then live your life, establish yourself, get the American dream, and build your own, and then try to achieve it, okay? So what about DV 2027? No information yet about that. I don't have any news about that at all. Pause itaisha lini? Inabidi, sijui hata mimi. Cinematic Universe. Hi, Lucy. Do you think DV winners will be affected? By what? Yours watching from here, Mbarara, Uganda. Thank you, Uganda. Thank you, Uganda, for your support for Lucy Mwangi USA. Thank you, Ghana. Nepal, a lot of people from Nepal, a lot of people from Ethiopia and Kenya, obviously. I appreciate you guys. Keep this show alive by participating, by engaging, by subscribing, by following, by sharing the videos. I appreciate you very much. Stopper, how are you? Odd Giant, can I travel out of the US if I have a 10-year green card and a travel document? Yeah. What about DV 2027 is still available? Nobody has said yet that they are canceling DV 2027. We can check the portal together. Let me see if I can pull it up. But so far, so the website is dvprogram.state.gov if you ever wanted to check your yeah. So the website is dvprogram.state.gov and the page is this, and I'll show you what it says right now. It's not open, guys. It's not open. Every day I refresh it, I check it just so I can see if there's any news. Every day I check the news to see if anything is up. But as you can see, I'm sharing the dvprogram.state.gov entrance status check and electronic diversity visa program landing page. When you go there, that's where you're supposed to put in your application. On TikTok. So on YouTube, that's what I'm sharing. Right now, it's still talking about DV 2026 application. So nothing going on there about the DV program. And there's no new information that has been released by the Department of State saying that DV 2027 entry period dates have been announced. So we are still waiting. Even DV lottery winners are. What are you asking? Peter 254, thank you. Can I go for my interview? Abdul Rahman, yes, we just answered that. Somebody said free advice. If you know anything, if you don't know anything being talked about here, do us a favor and please prepare to leave. Hello, Kajimu Moses. Hello, Madam. You have just joined in. Thank you for joining. Any good news for the DV lottery? No news right now. Why? Thank you for joining. Thank you very much for joining. Somebody saying no 2027 DV this year. Any updates on visa issuance? No, still waiting on that on TikTok. Thank you. I become confident, all related to DV and interview. Yes, please attend your interview and let us know how it goes. JD, Haron, hi Lucy, good work, keep it up. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks a lot for the update. Sambu says, Sambu 273. So I appreciate you guys being here. 2NLs being issued for DV 2026. Yes, from the confirmation that I got from Kenyans, especially Kenyans, but most embassies are very slow. The processing of everything right now is very slow. So guys, just be patient. Just people asking Royal Clark's shoes. Hello, Lucy. Are they still issuing 2NLs? Yes, they are. Global Health, hello. What happens to those who had gotten a visa before the pause? So the instructions were if you had already received a visa, the visa is not being revoked and no visas are being canceled. So unless you are from a travel ban country, then your visa is valid and you can go. Some people from travel ban countries are getting visas, different kinds of visas being or revoked because of the ban, and they're getting a message uh, saying that your visa has been canceled without prejudice. So if you get a message like that, it means the visa was canceled not because you didn't pass the interview. It's not because of a fault of your own. It is because of the system. It's because of the pause. It is because of the government ruling. It's because of the travel ban. So it's not your fault. So that's what it means. Visa canceled without prejudice. So people are getting that if you are from a travel banned country. There's a question from Cameroon. Yeah, a lot of comments from the Cameroon community are here on my channel. Greetings, madam. Please, do we have any Cameroonians on the platform who've undergone any interviews so far? The answers I'm getting is no. So let me know if you are from Cameroon, if you're going to watch this replay later on YouTube. Can you guys let us know what's going on in Cameroon, in Ghana, and Liberia? Because those three countries, a lot of people are saying they haven't even started issuing or doing interviews for 2026 DV. I know Nairobi has done, from the last data that I looked at, Nairobi had given like 341 2NLs as of last time when I did the live. Any new form of immigration? I am Coril. How are you? Thank you, Madam Lucy. I'm watching from Nairobi. Thank you for watching. Talk about DV lottery, please. Yes, we are talking about it. Cinematic Universe Beauty. Thank you guys for watching on TikTok. What about the people with pending issues? Yeah, those are the people that are more concerned about the immigration pause because there's a whole USCIS immigration pause. Processing of visas is on pause. So a lot of people are confused about what to do. So a lot of people are affected, different kinds of visas. Hi, Lucy Koech. What's the easiest way of getting my parents and siblings over here for our US citizens? For a US citizen. For your parents, the quickest way is to file for them for a green card to come because that is one of the quickest ways. They don't have to wait so long because they are immediate relatives. So for your parents, your husband or wife, and your children under 21, those ones, it's easier for you to file the family-based green card for them. Siblings, you can still do the same, but they get like they're secondary. They're not like primary. They're not considered immediate. So that takes years. So the sooner you begin, the better. Or you can encourage them, you can invite them, they can come here on a different kind of visa. And when they get here, they can do different things to change their status. But then you can support them by being the sponsor, so you can provide the affidavit of support for them. There are different ways that you can support them. Has the DV lottery opened? Rich guy, Rich Sly. Has the DV opened? Hi Joe, happy new year. Thank you for watching. Anything for Kenya Embassy? Around 55K case number. So let's not lose hope. You know, things can turn. Things can turn. Just the same way things turned for the worse, things can turn for the better. You never know. We might wake up tomorrow and we already have the dates for DV 2027. We might wake up tomorrow and find out that the lift has been, the ban, I mean, the pause has been lifted and everything starts going on smoothly. So let's cross our fingers and keep hope alive. Can I get a job without using a green card? Where? Here in the US? Unless you come with a work visa, so you can get, authorization to work. But a lot of visas don't allow you to work, like the visitor visa. The F1 visa for student visa is restrictive. You can only work maybe around the school, or it has to be authorized. You can just work. Coach, you're welcome. Thank you guys for joining the live. Do you have any further questions on TikTok or on YouTube? We are approaching 1 hour. There's a cat outside my there's a neighbor's cat outside my window just peeking in. So if you guys don't have any further questions, let me know, because TikTok is saying it's going to drop you guys if you don't tap on the screen. So if you don't have any further questions, we are going to end the live. So somebody's asking why N400 interviews are canceled for those who got green card through DV lottery, not banned countries. Because the USCIS they paused all processing of visas. That's why a lot of people they're not happy. Good evening from Ghana, Eugene123. If I may ask, is DV 2026 interview ongoing in different countries? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out. So I use this platform to try and get feedback from different countries. So let me know your country. Drop your country. Let me know if you're getting two NLs. Let me know if visa processing is still going on, the interviews at least. I know people are not getting the actual visa stamped on their passports, but let me know if you're at least going for interviews and getting 2NLs. You're from Algeria. Where will I get a work visa? If you go to travel.state.gov, you can read about different USM visas. It's not just one visa. There's so many visas. I think there's 185 different types of visas, including religious, cruise ship, the most popular ones, DV lottery, marriage-based visa, work visas, so many visas. And there are other ways that you can qualify, by the way, if you are in the US and a green card holder. There's so many ways you can qualify if you don't, let's say, for example, and we talked about the K1 visa the other day. That's the fiance visa. So let's say, for example, you come to the US and you through a US citizen. So you got a fiance, you did everything that you were supposed to do. You have 90 days after getting into the United States to marry your US citizen. So at that time, you have a non-immigrant visa. The K1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. So you're trying to get a green card. So you come to the US, you get married, you start living with a person, and then you get a conditional green card. I think it's about 2 years. After 2 years, you have to request for the removal of the conditions. So during those 2 years, things can happen. A lot of people go through abuse from their US citizens. They go through blackmail. And these are things that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's something that's worth mentioning because this is an immigration channel and life in the US as an African immigrant. So these are things that happen, but a lot of people don't come out to say. People just show on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, how easy it is, how life is easy after you get married to a US citizen. You're going to get your green card and life is going to be smooth. But yes, for a bigger percentage, that happens. And congratulations to everybody who found love and who found a good person that also helped them through the immigration process. But things can take a turn for the worse. And this person that helped you come to the US can turn into your worst enemy. There are options for that. So if you're feeling afraid or you're feeling threatened or you're being abused by your US citizen spouse, there are ways that you can apply for a US citizenship without your spouse having to endorse it for you. And that is called VAWA, which is Violence Against Women's Act. I know it says women, but it's for everybody. It's also for men. So that's another outlet. There's another option that you can petition for yourself. It's a self-petitioned immigration process for victims of abuse by US citizens. So don't suffer in silence. And I can do a video about that. Comment yes if you want me to do a video about that. And so you don't have to worry about the abuser. He does not have to know that you are filing. He will never know. He or she will never know that you're filing. You don't have to involve them in the interviews, none of that. So that's an option. And once again, I'm not an immigration attorney. I just know that those are resources that you can look it up. You can look it up on travel.state.gov, and I see people saying yes. So I'll do a video about that, and so you're not stuck. Just because you're married to a US citizen does not mean that you have to stay and suffer in silence. You can still get your US citizenship and your green card extended to 10 years and then finally file for US citizenship, even if you're married to an abusing spouse. All right. So moving on, let me see if we have a few more comments. Abu Bakar, how are you? Happy New Year, long time. Watching right now from Banjul, the Gambia. I appreciate you. Happy New Year. Where have you been? Debola, sorry I joined the session late. Would you tell us again about the lawsuit against the feds and USCIS pause? You can replay I'm already over 1 hour, so you can replay the video in the beginning. I did an extensive presentation about that. I also have a separate individual video that I posted today. It's about 7 minutes, so you can watch that. But thank you. Thank you for joining in. What of those doing NCLEX? What about them? AJ said, God bless America. MUE, does US Kenya Embassy still offer DV visas? I returned visa on 16 with name or correction not yet. Please rewrite your question so I can read it properly. I don't understand it on TikTok. Dear, please update on DV lottery pause. It's still on pause. It's still on pause right now. So as soon as I hear anything different, I will do a video about it. But for right now, the pause is still in effect. The travel ban for those 39 countries is still in effect. And nothing new. That's why I haven't been coming on live so much. I just do short videos because there's really no new information about the diversity visa. So, but whatever you're experiencing, please don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Stay informed. Stay connected. Keep giving us updates about what's going on with your embassy, so that we can also let other people know. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. This was just a quick live stream. It ended up being an hour end, but I appreciate you being here today. We covered 3 major developments affecting immigrants and U.S. communities. We talked about immigrants who are suing the federal government over a pause in processing green cards and citizenship cases. We also talked about USCIS having updated how good moral character is evaluated for citizenship applicants. And finally, we quickly mentioned about the breaking news of a woman shot by ICE agent in Minneapolis. an active investigation with dueling accounts and major community response. So I'll keep an eye on this story about the lawsuit and about the issue in Minneapolis. So thank you guys. Subscribe to my channel on TikTok. My channel is Lucy Mwangi USA. And on this platform, we talk about legal pathways of coming to the United States. We also give you guys immigration updates. We talk about the diversity visa lottery process. And we talk about life in the US as an African immigrant. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Have a good weekend.